Hey, what's up, Cancer? Welcome to this timeless general tarot reading. And look at lucky you, Cancer. As soon as I decided to start your video, my cat decided to make herself present for the first time in any of my tarot videos. She hasn't emerged for any of them, so that's kind of making me wonder about this reading a little bit, because she hasn't bothered to make her presence shown until now. So hopefully she won't distract reading too much. Alright, Cancer, so as per usual, all typical disclaimers are assumed, all non-typical disclaimers are asserted. I'm not responsible for your misuse of the truth I am imparted if it is not meant for you. Also, as per usual, too many cards. Also, as per usual, if you are getting tired of my random ramblings and bamblings, make sure you check the timestamps below to skip to the actual drops, because it's not my prerogative to take cards off the top and just read them. That feels a little too convenient for me. It's like, it just feels like BS arting a little bit. So I prefer to have a much clearer message from Spirit than that. Even though I know it works for other readers, so I shouldn't hate the process, but for me it's not my style. Alright. Also, my cat just left, so I guess she had her time. So, let's see here. Alright, Great Goddess. Is there any information you would like to impart for Cancers? Oh, another thing, Cancer. I have to say something for you. The last video I made, I said, "Hey, what's up, Cancer the Crabs," at the beginning of the video. And according to the YouTube statistical analytics, which is that people clicked off after about 5 seconds, I rewatched the video and realized now that it sounded as if I was calling you all crabby people. So like Cancer, the emotionally crappy individuals, which was not my intention. I was just trying to call you Cancer the Crab, sort of like Big Bull Taurus and the Great Aries. But the YouTube analytics insist that you did not take it so lightly. So I apologize for that. And it does kind of speak, I suppose, maybe to your emotional nature, interestingly enough. Perhaps it is something that you are... It just kind of speaks to your emotional nature, which I think is kind of cute in its own right. So it's interesting that it actually happens like that. But from this point on, I will no longer call you Cancer the Crabs, alright? I'll try to figure out something cooler than that. So, okay. Another thing I have to stipulate. I know, stipulation after stipulation after stipulation. Something that seems to be developing from my readings is that they are negative. They're not all sunshine and rainbows, so to speak. They're not pure optimism. My readings have negativity in them, a lot to most of them. Most of my readings are about some kind of negative quality that needs healing. And that healing imparted would actually yield a better lifestyle and a better quality of living for the viewer. And it looks like you're on the path for that now. So I apologize for that. I know it's not everybody's prerogative to listen to negative reads, and a lot of readers get by blinding the optimism. But it just hasn't been proving the nature of my readings. My readings have been proving to be much tougher on this level of soul work, which is part of what I'm going for with these... Whoops, look at that. It's part of what I'm going for with these readings. Oof, gosh. It's part of what I'm going for is healing people. My videos are for actually helping people deal with problems that they're having trouble dealing with, or enlightening them to issues that they maybe hadn't considered before in certain lights. And it is for helping and healing. So it's not just about validating blind optimism, so to speak. It is about getting to the root of something that needs to be healed and helped within everybody. So, man. Alright. So, I've got enough cards here that I can actually do some kind of reading. There is some kind of resistance to a new beginning. Somebody is dragging their feet. Somebody is not interested in, unfortunately, maybe changing who they are, almost as kind of like I was just describing. Somebody does not want to start down a new path. They do not want to embrace the energies required to start to move forward. And sometimes that's because of insecurity, because the individual is anxious about their capacity to make the journey. So it's a sign, there's a sign of pessimism here about having to move forward with something. And I'm not sure what that thing is, but that pessimism is stalling some kind of material camaraderie, some kind of potential for individuals to come together and accomplish and achieve something together. That is getting stymied by this inability to embrace this journey ahead. And that is also, it is, so here we've got the King of Cups, which is water energies, that is you, but it's in the reverse. So it's, there's some kind of issue with, like, the cliche thing would be a toxic leader. But more specifically, what this King of Cups archetype is representing is there's some kind of emotional toxicity that is, it's kind of like, it's basically frustration. And that frustration is getting taken out on other people. So the brash emotionality, the hypertension of, which I don't know if I should technically say that, because I think that's a condition. So I'm just trying to fit this in here because off the top of my head, I feel like the Fool in reverse is possibly you, stuck in this resistance, which is why I'm wondering who this King of Cups is, because this King of Cups, King of Cups in reverse stinks. It's like, it's a very angry person, and they're not just angry, they're harsh to others about it, is the problem. So, like, it's not just that, so sort of, okay, so the other thing that kind of comes out here is that this person is getting very disappointed at this lack of progress. So this could be you. It could be you. You could be having negative emotions over some kind of lack of progress. The problem here is that if you keep acting like this King of Cups energy, if you actually are that abrasive, if you're actually that toxic, if you're actually that hateful, vengeful, spiteful, then people are not going to want to give to you. So there's an energy here of not moving beyond the old cycles, not embracing the necessary path before you. And because of that resistance, it's trapping you in a lack of progress. And that, of course, is going to, like, really chew you up on the inside for whatever reason. So you're going to get chewed up on the inside, and it's not just that you're not going to bottle it up. This energy it overpours onto others. And because of that, you are going to lose opportunities that you might have had otherwise. You are not validated in this negative emotionality. Even if these people are letting you down, in a sense, if this is somebody else and this is you, like, you're called to, essentially it's matching your energy. So had you been in the upright energy, maybe these people would have succeeded, but because your energy is like this, it's getting matched to you, which is like, it's kind of cliche, but it's a law of attraction instance. This King of Cups, they're the king because they have so much power, but whenever they are flipped in their energy and are in that negative toxicity, it overflows into their results. And that's essentially what this is showing. So it could also be, if you're the Fool and you're dragging your feet, leading to no progress, that could piss off someone who is maybe your boss. That's the easy way to read it. Just whatever authority figure is relying on you, like, it's going to piss them off that you're dragging your feet and not making any progress. So that's part of it. However, because the King of Cups is water energy, and because we started with our discussion about the emotionality of Cancer, this is kind of pointing to the idea that you are this King of Cups, and that your negative emotionality is causing... It's not that these negative things happen and you're validated in the negative feeling. It's that your negative feeling and your toxic feelings are attracting these pitfalls and downfalls for you, which is very interesting. So that's lame in its own right. You know, honestly, it's lame. Seeing this sucks. It just sucks to feel like this and then lose opportunities and lose this, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like this efficiency of progress, stymieing the work situation. However, you have this saving grace here, which is that you have the Empress in the upright. The Empress in the upright could signify a feminine person, like it could represent a feminine person, but more accurately what it is it's kind of a sign of riding your feminine energy, which doesn't mean acting like a girl. What that means is, it honestly, kind of exactly what it's saying is, it's a call to straighten out this negative King of Cups energy. The Empress as a feminine embodies feminine quality and embodies utilizing your emotionality optimistically in the upright. So by channeling her optimism, or by channeling her positive emotionality, she is able to attract stability in her life. It's not, if she were in the reverse, she would be matching this King of Cups. So this is a good sign that somebody, someone, possibly, if it were one of the queens, I would point to it as a person. So I've got a mixed read here where it's like, it could either be some kind of person, it doesn't have to be a woman, but a person embodying their wholesome and positive emotionalism, being an exemplar for you as to how that can actually attract the abundance and stability that you want. So it could literally be a person. The other thing it could be, of course, is it could simply be a call to try to embrace this positive emotionality and not get stuck as this pessimistic, negative, and toxic King of Cups. And in the event you do that, you could actually find this stability you're looking for, which is the opposite of this. You would actually be able to find the camaraderie and stability that you desire. And that is something that I think you are, because I have a young 3-year-old nephew who's a Cancer, and he does embody some of the more cliche notions of Cancer. But one of those things is that he definitely values being embraced by people. And it's important for him to have meaningful interactions with others in his life. That is something that provides him stability. So to a certain extent, as far as I know, this is something that you truly this is integral to your core, to a sense, from your zodiacal sign. This means so much to you when you can be embraced properly by others who actually care about you and that you can share that with. And to a certain extent, you're not finding it here, and you're not finding it here, and you're losing opportunities, and that makes sense because you're being toxic and you're being abrasive. And I don't know to what extent in depth you're being this King of Cups, but at its worst, it's like just a really mean dad, basically. Like a really mean dad who is always taking out his turmoil on you and making you feel bad and making you feel inadequate, and just all of that negativity overflowing onto you. It's not cool. It's not who you want to be. And it's not going to serve you. But there's this call here, and I'm going to do a couple more shuffles But if I don't get anything else out of the shuffle here, then I think this message is actually pretty clear for you. It didn't take too many cards, and we're only at 15 minutes, which is actually pretty lucky because some readings take much longer to actually kind of get to the gist of the message. But some signs have much simpler conclusions to the readings. They don't require as much complexity for the viewer. There's some readings where the viewer apparently is sated by not that much information. So here we have one thing for you. Let me see what it is, though. Okay, so I don't really like this card here. I do not like this card for you. But you have the Seven of Wands in reverse. That is not a good sign. Like, really quickly, let me double check something here, because I need to double check if the Seven of Wands in reverse is positive or not. Because it turned around to some positivity, but the Seven of Wands might be bad. So like in the upright, Seven of Wands is about, it's about valid defense of yourself, but in the reverse, I think it's about well, so according to that, the closest thing I could read from it, which, let me switch back to my camera view. Kind of the closest thing I could read from it is, it's kind of a sign of surrendering. So it's almost asking you to surrender to what I'm suggesting here, which is that you're not validated in this toxicity, if this is you. If you're like this fool, then you're not validated in dragging your feet like this necessarily. It can kind of be a card of surrender. Not surrender necessarily in a way that you like. Surrender in a way that's like giving up because, like giving in more than giving up. But it's kind of a mixed message here. It's like, I mean, it's a warning to this King of Cups, basically. So I'm not sure exactly how to clarify this any further. It's like, the best I can say is it's a warning. It is a warning about not pulling up from this energy. It's a warning about retaining your toxic quality and like not surrendering differently, which to an extent is surrendering to this, to a more optimistic energy, to a more wholesome, like non-critical mental emotional toxicity, but like an optimistic feminine embracement of applying your emotions. Not exactly sure how else to imply that, but like I was kind of stipulating, it might not be the easiest thing for you in the world to just turn your emotions around. I mean, it's not the easiest thing for me in the world, but it's kind of asking for that. Maybe like it's really asking, it's kind of like mixing this Fool and the King of Cups. It's really asking you to surrender whatever has you stuck thinking that this is who you need to be. And it's asking you to embrace like a more accepting emotionalism. And if you do that, you can find the stability you really want. You can be embraced by others and embrace others in the way that you truly desire and is important to your Cancer core. Like, so that is how I would say this as a clarifier. It's kind of signifying that you have your guard up about why you think you're valid and righteous in acting out like this or dragging your feet like this. But it's insisting that these things come to you because you're going to feel like this. It's not the other way around. You aren't feeling like this because life dealt you this stuff, you were going to feel like this anyway, so life dealt you these things to match your energy. And if you can surrender on that fact, if you can accept that you are, and I'm missing like the exact way to say this exactly correctly about how you are, it is kind of a cliche law of attraction thing at the end of the day. It is about your toxic energy attracting more problems. But according to this, you are kind of, you think you're validated in that. So every time the new disappointment shows up, you don't realize that there's a way out, and that way out is by finding a different path forward with your emotions. You are like anticipating that you're going to keep getting these disappointments, and you're like preemptively setting yourself up to have these situations. And then when they happen, you continue your cycle of this toxicity. And it might even cause you to like not even want to, it might even cause you to do this feet dragging. So like, this cycle is just not where you want to be. You want to have this stability. You want to have these people that care about you. And you can't have these people caring about you when you're not going to care about them correctly. So, I'm not sure if this is an Empress. Maybe this is somebody who can open your heart. Maybe you fall in love with this person. That might be pretty cool. And they can help you provide this family that cares about you and that really shows you who you are and who you can be to a better extent. But to do that, you are going to have to apply some forgiveness, which I won't say that's the easiest thing in the world. It's never really been for me either. So I'm not going to just lecture you on changing. Instead, I'm going to just try and insinuate that there is a way to feel better. And essentially what the message here is suggesting is that these disappointments are in your life because you feel disappointed. It's not because life has to be disappointing. So even though these disappointments are dealt to you, man, it's just very interesting because now I'm understanding why like other tarot readers very clichély say law of attraction. It's just a law of attraction situation. You're just attracting your own energy. And you've got yourself in a mental block where you are resigning to feeling bad. And you think that's a defensive mechanism that validates your emotions, but you've got it backwards. It's only validating your negativity. And there's ways to feel better. And at the end of the day, this needs to be more important than being stubborn about the way you see this. So, I don't really have any other clarifiers that I want to bring out here. This is where Cancer wants to be. Like, from what I've seen and what I've witnessed with Cancers I know, like, this matters so much to them that they will like take it out on people who don't give them this to a certain extent. Like, this means so much to you. And you have the capacity to be the King of Cups in the upright, which is a very important card. It's a very important archetype for this family. Like, an upright King of Cups is who can produce this. And it's who these people will love and cherish with all their heart and soul. Because the energy of the King of Cups upright empowers them with love, and that attracts love from them. And that's what you're looking for. It's very likely what you're looking for. But to do that, you've got to get over this, whatever this is. You've got to get over Dang it. And I've got it in my head, and like I've got it in my soul what it is, but I'm missing at the words exactly. So I apologize I'm not articulating it all the way, but you are just like, you're stuck up on thinking life is always supposed to be bad. Therefore, it can't help but oblige you and validate you to your belief. And it's not that the universe has to do that. It's not that the universe is destined to be like that. It's that the universe is destined to match your energy of that. But if you can take a different perspective here, if you can surrender that perspective and embrace a different quality of your emotions, if you can embrace an uplifting of others with your emotions, not a toxic criticality, you can probably find your heart's desire. And you can stop losing these things along the way. So I think that's about it. That's actually pretty straightforward for you. I kind of rambled on there at the end, but I think I drove the point home. So I don't want to drive it home any further. I think you probably kind of get what I'm saying here. So I appreciate you for being here, Cancer. I'll still work on your nicknames. I'm sorry about the last video. I hope you don't click off in 5 seconds this time. But take care and pull up on this negative toxicity, and you're going to find what you really want. So good luck and take care.